Well, that's it for this episode of The Scoop.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, we are entertainment with flavor.
And make sure to watch exclusive clips and episodes on thescoopshow.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at The Scoop Show. My name is Magdalena Webase.
And my name is Joseph Shepard. Hope everyone has a good day today. We are leaving you with our exclusive interview with director of the new movie Footloose, Craig Brewer, and the official movie trailer. Until next time.
See you later.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Soup. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Almira.
And we are here with the director and screenplay writer of Footloose, Mr. Craig Brewer. And so, you're from Memphis like I am. Do you use any inspiration from your hometown, or do you use any, what's your main inspiration that you use to write and direct?
Man, I'm so glad you asked that. That's like the best question I've been asked so far. I learned the most about directing from music producers in Memphis. One in particular named Jim Dickinson, who luckily I got to work with him on Black Snake Moan. He was one of the keyboard artists. He's also the father of these two guys named Luther and Cody Dickinson, who's in a band called the North Mississippi All Stars. And I've always loved those guys. But Jim had this idea that the best thing for you to do as a director is get very talented people who have all of these different kinds of quirks and personalities, and if you can just wrangle them all into one room, and maybe not try to rehearse, but just have the drummer kick off like a good 4-beat, and then roll tape and see what happens first. Because there is a magic that you want to try to like capture instead of trying to manufacture. And for me, I think that that's when I started to go from this point of like, okay, I need to know absolutely everything that I'm going to do to, well, what can I discover here on the day with these actors? And, you know, some actors are like a musician. Some musicians are great before noon unless they get a drink in them. Some are great afterwards. There's all these different kinds of quirks and personalities that you have to wrangle in your day. But from action to cut, you're dealing with magic, and you should be fortunate to capture it. So that's what I think I get from hanging out in Memphis. The other thing I get is when you live in a community that's outside of like a Los Angeles or New York, where it's like a hotbed of entertainment, I think it's a special thing to have in your life, because if you have failure, or if you have or success, or suddenly like your life is a little crazy, you can always return to this place of a community and not be judged. You know, I see people that are like in rock and roll bands, and they're incredible at like midnight. They look like just these golden gods of rock. But the next morning they're serving me coffee at the restaurant, and there's no judgment. There's no like, you're not successful. And that's a good thing, I think, for any artist, depending on their success, to have that around them.
Coming from Memphis and working in LA and New York, what was it like for you being in Atlanta? And what do you think of Atlanta being labeled as Hollywood South?
I'm all for it. I'm all for there being a Hollywood South. If anything, I think that it's going to be good for me, because I'm now finding in Hollywood that there's people in executive positions, they haven't even been to Atlanta, but they're looking at what the benefits are to filming in Atlanta in terms of, or Georgia, in terms of the incentives, in terms of the crew base. And so now being a director who's already directed there, it's one of the first questions out of their mouth, like, well, can it be done in Georgia? You know, I'm probably going to be doing Tarzan next, hopefully, and I don't know if that can be done in Georgia, but I'm sure.
You might have to go to Hollywood North.
Yeah, right. They're probably going to ask me though, but can you shoot it in Georgia? So.
Yeah.
So there were like many years of different like speculation around Footloose, and it finally came down. What sets your Footloose apart from the original?
Well, mine's pretty faithful. I guess the one thing that our Footloose does that's a little bit different is that we're a little bit more sympathetic towards the parents' side of things. It's not, we don't embrace the whole hokey thing like, no, there can't be any dancing. There's a ban on dancing because we don't want our kids to go to hell. That's not what our movie is. Our movie is about a terrible accident that happened in the small town. Where 5 teenagers are killed after a kegger party that they went to. And for a town that has a graduating high school class of 200, like it devastated them. And so September 11th they overreacted, I think, for the right reasons. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in the wake of a tragedy that everybody starts making decisions very quickly to protect the people that they love. But every once in a while, it starts going a little bit more extreme, and you're like, well, wait a minute, why is this now here? Why is this in violation of my rights to protect my safety and my well-being? And I think that for us, like, and for me as a parent now, I just didn't want to just make some sort of hokey, demonized portrayal of the preacher and the parents, because I am that parent now.
So with the newcomers on your set, the leads,
right.
Julianne and Kenny,
right.
What was it like working with them? And what can you tell us about that?
It was an absolute joy to be working with them. I mean, look, they're great guys and everything, like, and they're enthusiastic and they're talented. But I think it was the first time for me that I felt like I knew what I was doing, and I had to know what I was doing because I had new people, and I wanted them to be very, very comfortable. And I was like the oldest guy on the set, other than Dennis Quaid, and there was something that actually made me feel more comfortable directing Dennis Quaid by being a little bit more of a veteran. I'm only 3 movies in, but like I felt confident. I was like, okay, you're going to come in, you're going to do your little magic, do your little Dennis Quaid stuff, and I'm going to go over there behind the video village and be impressed. And to some extent, that put him at ease, where I could then come up to him later and go, can you? And he's like, what? He would listen to me. The actors, the younger actors, though, I felt like I was there to support them, and I wanted to. They had a lot on their shoulders. I mean, Kenny Warmalt's taken over Kevin Bacon's role, and there's going to be people sitting in the theater already with like shotguns ready to hate on this guy. And I think it's a big testament to his courage that he pulled it off really, really admirably.
All right, we have one last question. It's 60 seconds. We can get to know you as fast as possible.
Oh my God.
Okay, favorite movie?
I'm going to say Purple Rain.
Favorite food?
I'm going to say, homemade pizza.
What do you do on a Saturday night?
Saturday night's the one night that I can get a babysitter for the kids. So I take old girl out. We sit at the bar and eat and kind of like, feel on each other.
Song you know all the words to?
Song I know all the words to. Wow, that's going to slay me. I Thank You by Sam and Dave.
And last question, who is your favorite role model you look up to?
Who's my favorite role model that I look up to? It changes, but I have to say, if I'm going to pick a year right now, my favorite role model this year is actually Kevin Smith. I think that Kevin Smith is going to be the guy that's going to try to change the way we see movies and still be an independent filmmaker. And I really do respect him.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. That's it for The Scoop.